All right, this week we're going to use the eSkeletons website to compare the anatomical features of 4 different primates. So to get started, you're going to take your cursor and hover over the word taxon, and then you can switch back and forth between the male adults of the 4 different species we're going to look at. We're going to look at baboon, human, chimpanzee, and the ruffed lemur. Okay, so I'm going to click on lemur where it says male adult. And that'll take me to this page where I can see the full skeleton over here on the left, and I can see the skull over on the right. And if I click on the different views, we can get a different view of the skull. Mostly you're going to use the lateral view so that you can see the teeth and the size of the brain case compared to the face. So we're going to use this site to fill in this chart on your Google form or Google Doc. And we're going to first look at skull shape. Okay. And all these, you're just coming up with a number. There's no 100% right answer, just relatively, what do you think it is? So if on a scale of 1 is really circular and 5 is thin and horizontal, when I look at the skull of a ruffed lemur, it doesn't get very tall and it pretty much goes straight across. That's probably a 5 or a 4. All right. If I look at a human and I compare that skull, that's pretty round. I'd call that probably a 1. Okay. So after you've looked at the skull shape and you've got a number, we're going to kind of use the same scale for canine teeth relative to the other teeth. So humans, all the teeth are kind of the same shape, but your canines, they're a little more pronounced in a baboon, so we'll use that as our example. Canines are these big, you might want to call them fangs, but they're just the large teeth that are, to the front, but on the side, okay, kind of at the corner of your mouth. So a baboon has pretty big canines, a human has pretty small, so we're going to, put the correct number for the scale right there. For total number of teeth, you can count just the teeth on a side plus the front, just that you can see in one view, or you can multiply because your mouth has 2 sides. Whatever you do, just do it for all 4, and that's fine. For the brow ridge, a brow ridge refers to your eyebrows, and the best example of a brow ridge is in a gorilla. So gorilla is not in your chart, but if we click on gorilla, you can see right where his eyebrows would be, his skull actually sticks up really high. Okay, so it's his skull is sloping down and then it comes back up right above his eyes. That's called a very prominent brow ridge. Okay, so a gorilla would be a 1. That would be really huge. If you don't have one at all, that's a 5. Again, whatever your opinion is based on the skulls. Okay, for a tail, does it have one? How big is it? You can just put a word right here. We don't need a scale. And then body position, how does it normally walk or how does it stand? So our gorilla is what we call a knuckle walker. You can see in his front feet, his fingers are kind of bent under and it actually walks on the knuckles of its fingers. Okay, whereas humans walk on 2 feet. If we look at, say, a baboon, as a baboon walks, its hand is kind of flat on the ground, or its foot is flat on the ground. So that's just walking on 4 legs. Okay, so those are the characteristics we're going to look at. Hopefully you can fill in this table using the website. And then you're going to kind of compare the similarities and try to make a phylogenetic tree. And so you can just double click on the line that's already there and type in the name of the monkey, okay, as to where it goes. And there's a little more explanation on Classroom for that. And then finally, there's a CER, make a claim, support it with evidence. We want to compare at least 2 different traits. So what is similar and then what is different? So that's one trait, and then what is similar and what is different from another trait, and then back that up with some reasoning.